Education on YouTube is one of the best ways to gain trust and inspire millions of people around the world. Unlike a lot of entertainment videos which get lost in a growing sea of other videos trying to grab people's attention, educational videos, when done well, create lasting impact. In this video, we'll cover the fundamentals of YouTube, lessons from cognitive psychology to help your viewers actually retain what you teach them, and how to make your channel actually stand out in your niche. To guide us and help us think about the nature of YouTube and how we can work alongside it to make our channel stand out and grow, we're going to divide this video into 4 sections and tie everything together along the way. Section 1. Set clear goals and expectations. This is the most important part that a lot of people skip. But if you skip this part, all the potential that your channel has could be for nothing. Before continuing, try answering these 4 core questions about your channel. Number 1. What are your goals? Number 2. How are you going to accomplish them? Number 3, who is your audience? And number 4, how will you provide value to them? The first 2 questions are about you. The latter are about others. Let's start with the first question. Before you even think about starting a channel, you have to set clear expectations for yourself. Success on YouTube really comes down to how you define it. What are your goals with YouTube, and why are you starting in the first place? Is there some kind of monetary goal? Is it to get leads for your business? Is it to educate people on topics you find interesting? Is it to build community? All these are potential goals that you can have with YouTube. For me personally, the goal of this channel is to build a strong community of educational creators. What about the how? Well, this is very simple. How are you going to actually follow through on the goals that you have? For me, I'm trying to carve out an hour every day to write, film, and edit these videos. Now let's move on to the who, and this will be the most complicated one. There are 2 parts to running a YouTube channel: gathering attention and monetizing that attention. When producing educational content, you gather attention by giving value to your audience, and you monetize that attention by your audience giving value back to you. So let's use Howtown, one of my favorite recent channels, as an example. They give value to their audience by explaining complex topics simply, and their audience can give value to them in a couple of different ways. A few of those would be subscribing to their channel or by joining their Patreon community. If you're not yet sure entirely what success for you looks like, but you simply want to talk about something you're passionate about, I would say go for it. I find working with my clients that you often find the community you're looking for just by releasing videos on specific topics you might be interested in. Simply gathering attention is a really good starting point. You just have to be intentional with your content. If you're posting different topics with every upload, the algorithm will get confused about who to push the video to. But if you stick to an audience you can serve, you can provide a lot of value to them. That's why part of setting clear expectations is about knowing who your audience is and what purpose your channel serves to those people. If you are advertising your business, you would be intentional who you target with your ads. In the same way, you have to be intentional about who you're targeting with your videos. Try to pick 3 categories of audiences that might want to watch your videos. Just like how businesses have an ideal customer profile, or ICP, you want to do something similar, an ideal audience profile or something like that. For example, the goal of this excellent channel is to educate people about math-related topics using animation. So the 3 categories of audiences they're targeting might be something like 1. People curious about math, 2. Students actively trying to learn about math, and 3. Professionals who use math regularly. Identifying your audience and getting clear about what value you provide to them is a crucial element in your channel's success. A very simple way of understanding what value you provide is by looking at this graph. This graph isn't perfect, but hopefully it sheds light on a few things that we'll talk more about in section 3. This first corner is about your voice. This ties into your unique perspective, personality, experience, expertise, etc. This second point is production, and this one is a little bit more tricky. If your videos are beautiful but don't have any substance to it, no one will care about your video. At the same time, even if you have great substance, if you don't present the material in a way that doesn't guide the viewer as they watch through the video probably won't do so well either. So production is really twofold. It's about being clear while also keeping your audience's attention. The last point is about content value. What are you actually teaching your audience? And how good are you at actually communicating those ideas? As I'm sure you can tell, all of these ideas are intimately tied to one another. Personality can be reflected through your production. Content value can be amplified through your perspective. Production can help aid in the clarity of your content, and so on. But hopefully, thinking about these points helps you answer the larger question of how you can actually serve your audience. Ideally, you want to have all 3 of these points up to a certain baseline, then improve on each one as you go. But in reality, even the best creators don't have it all figured out. If you don't have experience already, it's just best to start and find your footing as you go. But for now, let's move on to section 2. YouTube is like a billboard. You have to convince your audience to click the video. And the two most important things to focus on are your title and thumbnail. Your title and thumbnail should build curiosity in the audience. In 1994, the behavioral economist George Loewenstein published a paper in which he coined the term information gap theory. Quote, "The information gap theory views curiosity as arising when attention becomes focused on a gap in one's knowledge." According to Loewenstein, when new information is not explained by your current knowledge, an information gap is formed. If the gap is too small, it's not interesting. If the gap is too large, it's too overwhelming. But if the gap is somewhere in the middle, there's a strong sense of curiosity felt by the viewer. This curiosity then drives the viewer to want to close that information gap. So the purpose of your title and thumbnail should be to create an information gap that is just right for the viewer. Again, this is why knowing your audience is so important, because you can figure out what information gap is just right for them. Because your title and thumbnail set expectations for the video, your video has to match that expectation. And the most important part of that is getting the intro right. In the intro, you have to confirm to the viewer that what they clicked on is exactly what they're going to get. A very good and easy way to do this is to make your intro similar to your thumbnail. On most devices, viewers can hover over a video to see what it is about. So people will immediately know if your video is not what the title and thumbnail actually say or imply that it is. Some great examples are from the most popular videos from the channel Veritasium. Immediately, the title and thumbnail set a perfect information gap. The titles sound absurd, but the thumbnails complement them to create curiosity in the audience. And if you hover over the video, you will see that the first frames match pretty well with the thumbnail. Now, Veritasium is a very interesting case because they essentially have multiple thumbnails in the frames of the intro so they can switch out and experiment with each. But the principle behind it is still there. The team did what they could do to efficiently communicate the ideas or question at the center of the viewer's mind when looking at the video to earn the click. After confirming the expectations of the video to the viewer, you can establish the premise of the video and introduce new hooks throughout to keep your viewer engaged. And that brings us to section 3, which is to respect your audience. I wrote a whole newsletter article about this, which is linked below. But after you earn your audience's click, there are still two things you need to do. You need to 1. Give your audience value, and 2. Respect their time. But how do you give your audience value? Well, your hook, comprised of your intro, thumbnail, and title, has established to the viewer what you're going to tell them. Your audience is deciding to give you their time with their click, so you want to make sure that you are providing the value that your audience wants. For educational channels, the most important thing to do, in my opinion, will be to facilitate good learning outcomes in the viewer because this provides them value. To do that, we will briefly talk about multimedia instruction. Richard Mayer defines multimedia instruction as, quote, "presenting words and pictures that are intended to promote learning." The key ideas of multimedia instruction can be stated in two simple statements. 1. When we present words and pictures together, it is better than either of them on their own. And number 2, some combination of words and pictures together are better than others. So the natural question that comes from these statements is, what combination of words and pictures are actually good? While there's no single formula, research does give us useful models and questions to guide our decisions. So while making an educational video, these are great questions to constantly be asking yourself. Number 1, are my words and visuals clear? Number 2, where is the viewer's attention being directed visually and auditorily? Number 3, am I respecting my viewer's capacity to handle information? And number 4, how does my ideal audience's prior knowledge affect how I should present this? Asking yourself these questions while making your video should make it a better experience for your viewer to extract value from your videos. We obviously can't always do this perfectly because of limited resources and time, but it's helpful even just to keep it in the back of your head. The last step to really succeed on YouTube is to understand that your channel cannot just be a string of videos uploaded in succession. They need to all connect to each other, which is why section 4 is to write a corpus, not a book. I've been emphasizing this a lot with my clients lately, but when you solve one problem for the viewer, many more will pop up. This is just how knowledge tends to work. The more our island of knowledge expands, the more it touches the waters of the unknown. When you upload a video, don't think about that video as a singular one-off book, but rather think about it as a collection of essays, with each node necessitating connection with another. Since you're writing a collection, it means don't overthink where to start. I started making videos in an RV, recording only when my brother left to go do something, which is why this video should really only serve as a guide. You don't need to memorize all the rules and principles people give you. If you just start writing and start creating, everything else really just starts to come naturally. It's amazing how many opportunities are in the creator economy at the moment. and I feel strongly that we need better educators on this platform. So if you're thinking about it, please try it out. And when you get to the end of writing your video, you can start suggesting your other videos that people may like. So in keeping with that theme, if you want to see my take on the system behind Veritasium's channel, you can click here. Thank you so much for your time.